Hi, my name is Ricky Reeves, and today we're going to be exploring major scales. Well, not all of them, just the ones that are more commonly used. There are about 6 or 7 scales that we generally play. Well, let me take that back. There are about 6 or 7 keys that we generally play in, and we're going to focus on those scales today. Now, I know that this session is supposedly for second, third year players. So in the interest of time and also my audience, we're going to try to keep our scales to 2 octaves. We're going to do 2 octaves. Now, if you're able to do more than 2, fantastic, you should. And most of you in your third year, you should be working on 3 octave scales. Today, we're going to explore 2 octave scales. And we're going to work on just the 6 or 7 major scales that are known primarily as band keys, but obviously any key can be a band key, and any key can be played in an orchestral setting or any other setting for that matter. So we'll begin with your C scale. And what I'm going to do, we're going to try various patterns on these scales. First of all, I'm going to play the scale in just eighth notes, all slurred, okay? So that it sounds something like this. Okay, very slow eighth notes. And what happens if we do them a little faster and perhaps with a metronome? Let's see, let's get our metronome going here. Bear with me as So that's at a tempo of quarter note equals 80. And I've got it on subdivision, so I'm playing eighth notes evenly and equally. Good. And we've got to take some time to get rid of our spittle here in the A key. I'm going to take a little time to swab out my clarinet. It seems that there's a little bit of moisture inside of it, so bear with me. You should all be doing this all the time so that you don't have this issue of rumbling sounds. That should be better. Good, it's clean. Okay, so that was your C scale at 80 on the metronome. Now, because these are patterns that we're trying to explore and do very even and accurately, especially as we cross a break, so that tonally everything matches, everything sounds the same, in other words. You want to always start slowly and increase your speed as you feel comfortable. So the next scale would be the G scale, F concert or G scale, which has 1 sharp, F sharp. And let's do that with the metronome also at 80. Good. Your D scale. scale. So the thing about that scale, the A scale, is it's got 3 sharps in the key signature. So you have to really control your fingers to make sure that they stay very close to the keys. I'm going to play that one again and see if you can watch my fingers as I play this. Notice how I try and keep them hovering and as close to the keys as possible. Okay? Okay? So, and if that's a little fast for some of you, slow it down until it's perfectly playable for you. But you're listening for evenness, and your sound and tone quality is exactly the same. Okay? Now we're going to go to the flat side and play the concert D flat scale or your E flat scale. This is another tricky one because of the 3 flats, and because this one goes, if we do 2 octaves, we're going up to the second, crossing the second break in the altissimo register. Okay, pretty even. I didn't play that with the metronome, but it's pretty much at 80. Okay, and then one more, the B flat scale. Not one more, but the next one. We have 2 more actually. Okay, now the last one will be your F scale, 1 flat, B flat. Yes, I like that scale a lot. In fact, let's do a little exercise here where I know that we're at a distance. I'm going to play the scale with the metronome at 80, and then I'm going to have you play it. I'm going to listen to you, and I will hear you, okay? So I'm also going to stand and let you see my fingers. Okay, now you try it at this tempo. 80, 1 and 2 and set and go. Did you get it? You can try it again on your own time. You should do that with all of these scales, just going back and forth until you can play them as evenly as you possibly can. Now, starting at 80 was 1 tempo. You can increase your speed by increments of 4 on the metronome. So 84 would be next, 88, 92, 96, 100, and so forth. Go as far as you can. Now, this is just one way to play these scales all slurred for evenness. There are also other methods out there that you might know of, and you might even have be working on yourself. The Bayerman, the Close, those are great sources. You just want to be able to find something that works for you and you do consistently every day to help you with your evenness and to help you with learning scales, different scale patterns and finger patterns. So next, speaking of patterns, let's do the scale pattern of 8th note, 16th notes, or if you want to think about it slower, we'll do quarter notes, 8th notes. and we'll do metronome, so you can hear that. And I'm going to choose concert D flat scale, the E flat scale, where I go across that second break for you. Okay, so that was all tongued. Some of you I know probably tongue up and slur down, or tongue up and tongue down, or slur up and slur down. Any kind of variance in that articulation is good. Nothing you do is bad when doing various articulations, okay? Another pattern we can do are the thirds, scales in thirds. I'm gonna do this one slowly for you so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. I know that many of you already know how to do this, and you do this probably in your lessons with your private teachers or with your band directors in your band programs. But if you can come up with your own system, your own way of warming up and creating some kind of pattern, if you're not getting help from someone else, then this is the goal here, is to make yourself better technically and tonally. Okay, this is going to be the C scale in thirds, slowly. Okay, so that was up 2 octaves. I stopped at the top and took a breath, then I came back down. You can do the same thing, do it your own speed, your own tempo, whatever works best for you. And you can do this in all of these keys that we talked about. The key of C, the key of G, the key of D, the key of A, the key of E flat, B flat, and F. This is a great routine to have daily practice with. Another idea that comes to mind are broken chords. So in the key of C major, if you were to do arpeggios, what an arpeggio is a broken chord. Because we are a single melody instrument, the clarinet, we can only play one note at a time, typically. We can't sit at like a piano player or a guitarist or a violinist would do and play 2 or 3 notes or more at a time to create a chord. So our chords become broken. We have to play individual notes. We're playing the same notes, just not all of it at once. We have to break them up and play them individually. And these are called arpeggios, or broken chords. So an example of that would be C major for you, and I'll play something from the CLC book. That's C major. That's the first one. And then you have G major, 1 sharp. Okay, so you can probably find these sheets, the broken chords of all varying kinds online, or from your private teacher, from your band director. They're available out there. So I would suggest you do this and try to do them in as many keys as possible. It's a slow and process at first, but it's well worth the time you invest, because the results will be amazing for you when you realize you can play scale in thirds, scale broken chord. You can also do returning thirds. Again, all this is done slowly for you to just get used to playing and getting used to the way it feels and the way it sounds to help you with your technique and your scale patterns. So another exercise I like to do is based on not necessarily major scales, but a chromatic exercise that I do to help with articulation, various articulations. And this exercise, you can do this with your scales as well. I'm going to use the chromatic because it includes all the notes on the instrument. I'm just going to demonstrate the various articulations that you can do, that I love doing this with my students. And we start with all tongued. I'm going to do one octave in the interest of time, okay? So I tongued up and I tongued it down. The next articulation would be all slurred. Okay, same pattern, articulation pattern, ascending and descending, or going up and coming down. The next one would be slur 4. Okay, and then we always group everything in 4s, even though we're tonguing everything or slurring everything. I'm still thinking about them in groups of 4s. So the slur 4 pattern there, and then take that same group of 4 notes and do slur 3, tongue 1. Okay, and if you were to flip that around from slur 3 to tongue 1, you get tongue 1, slur 3. Okay, so you'll notice that I try to keep everything the same tempo. You can play, again, as slow as you need to or as fast as you possibly can, but you want to make sure it's always clean and always exact. The next one would be tongue 1, slur 2, tongue 1. So what am I doing here? I'm just reinforcing the chromatic scale, the chromatic pattern. And what I typically do is I have my students do this 2 octaves and 3 octaves. So E to E to E, and then back down all the way without stopping. The next one would be slur 2, slur 2. Okay, keeping that 4 pattern there, but again, making sure that I'm just doing the same fingerings over and over and changing the articulation. So that was slur 2, slur 2. Let's try slur 2, tongue 2, which some would say is the universal articulation. I'm having such issues with water today. And then the last one would be, in the 4 pattern, would be tongue, the opposite of slur 2, tongue 2, tongue two, slur two. Now, as you can see, this is a great exercise because it teaches you the various articulation patterns. And again, you can do that with on your scale, your major scales, chromatic scale. Any kind of exercise to create a variation for you with articulation. Okay. So, what would it sound like if I did all 3 octaves for you before I go? Right? So that was all slurred. And that's the exercise I use for myself as a warm-up each and every day. Just to get my fingers going and making sure I'm sounding as the way I want to sound in all of 3 registers there. So you can start with one octave, and then add an octave, and then add an octave, or do what works best for you, okay? So apply these to the various scales as well. When you do all slurred, all tongued, slur 4, slur 2, tongue 2, slur 2. There were 9 that I did today. And you can, again, create your own system there, but this is just to help you with various scale patterns in various articulations. Hope this has been helpful for you, and I've enjoyed demonstrating for you, and keep playing the clarinet. Have fun. Thank you. Bye-bye.